Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
Here on Rutherford Issues, and want to remind you, we're powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Don't forget, nudge up that thermostat, or nudge down, I should say. Nudge up in the summertime. Nudge it down just a little bit. Maybe 68, maybe 67, just enough to stay comfortable. And it's just one of those simple ways that you can help reduce the strain on your system and lower that energy bill. More tips at mte.com/myenergyplan. Why is there a state trooper in the parking lot, Mike?
Okay.
Were there any traffic laws broken?
Following me? Yeah.
Yeah. Blue lights and everything.
I was worried about it.
Were you?
I was worried about Murfreesboro. You don't speed through Murfreesboro and Smyrna and Laverne.
Yeah.
You can probably get away with it on I-24. But anyways,
You probably had that special plate,
No,
on the back windshield or
That'll
something.
that plate will get you in trouble.
It will.
It sure will. I've seen people get in trouble over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if people don't know what we're talking about like the House plate or the Senate plate and your district number. I mean, yeah, the people know who you are. Then they just call and complain. If they don't like you, they may call and complain. You may be like me and abiding by every law, and then somebody can still complain.
I know you. You get pulled over, you roll down that.
I don't.
You pull out that
No.
$15 business card that you give away.
No, no, thank God I've got a pretty good driving record. I did get pulled over on the way to the station one night, and we were talking about trauma among firefighters and police officers, and I did say, well, ironically, that's what we're talking about tonight. And the guy was like, man, you need to slow it down. He did get on to me. So, warning, there's a deputy that sits right there before 840 by the bridge.
You don't know that by now?
I know. You see him hiding in there. I was like, I hope this is somebody I know. But
see, they catch people coming off of 840 onto Murfreesboro Road there that are going, 70, maybe, probably 80, and they come off that exit ramp and they're still flying on Murfreesboro Road. Yeah. And that's where they catch them.
But, in all honesty, I was speeding that day, but I've kind of slowed it down. You get a little older, you start slowing it down.
How fast were you going when you to get here?
He said, so I got these new wheels, and I had these new wheels on the car. They were a little taller wheels, and I said, maybe it's these wheels throwing off my speed. He goes, I don't think it's going to be that much. But anyway.
Even this morning, you said, I was fine. I said, you should have left earlier.
Well, I got talking to some other folks on the house floor, and everybody's worried about inclement weather. And I ran down the hall past that famous photographer, Joe, is it Portillo? I think he does work for Tennessee Lookout and Tennessean. And I come running down the Cordell Hole Tunnel, and I said, you think I can make it? And he goes, yeah, you can try, Anyways, well, I'm here.
Well, what are you talking about?
Well, we had a great meeting yesterday, and with Governor Bill Lee, Mayor Reed, and our delegation, Representative Tim Rudd and Representative Charlie Baum, Robert Stevens, and it about this potential interchange that Smyrna really has done their due diligence on at Rocky Fork Road, and we just trying to appeal our case before the Choice Lanes projects gets implemented, because after that it would be probably almost impossible to get an interchange done after the I-24 project. The Choice Lane is done. So the mayor made a great plea yesterday in front of the governor, because TDOT's very reluctant right now, and they feel like the interchange is a little too close to Almaville Road, and which I think it looks like it could be moved over towards Sam Ridley some to kind of counter that. But it was a great meeting, and hats off to Mayor Reed for pleading not only Smyrna's case, but Rutherford County's case, because this congestion, it's just not Smyrna, it's not just Laverne. I mean, it's all of us facing this on the way to Nashville.
How many exits do they have off of 24 in Nashville?
I've never counted. I know Murfreesboro has
there's one or two or three every mile.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lame argument. But you said something. I didn't mean to say it that aggressively, but
well, you get mad about, is it Thompson Lane, right?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, road projects, whatever. Why is this something that you have to get done before the choice lanes, or what does the choice lane have to do with the need for an interchange?
Well, if the choice lane's done, it's just going to, to try to put that in there later. It's going to just be haphazard. And it's like the tunnel. I wrote the letter to the boring company, and I mentioned that to the governor. I said, man, the owner of the site, he's willing to dedicate an easement for a tunnel on both sides. Both sides is available. But, you all of a sudden you get development out there and homes in there. That's going to refute any potential corporate headquarters or a tunnel. And I know it sounds comical when you talk about a tunnel. I didn't even think this was real when I first was hearing about it. But to me, it's another tool in the toolbox. It's another option for folks. And it's a serious issue that we need to get it on the front end and not wait till after the choice lane's done. And that's what Smyrna's done. Smyrna's done their due diligence.
Yeah.
Because the chief engineer used to tell me, well, Mike, if Smyrna just can get out there, get this road already done, and Smyrna has done it. So a lot of folks get frustrated with TDOT, and we're just I don't know if you want to call it a Hail Mary pass, but we're throwing that pass out there and pleading our case. Our delegation come together with the mayor and the city council, town council to just argue that we need to get this done, because it's a generational issue. This is going to affect my grandbabies. I have grandbabies, and they're going to be dealing with this stuff in 20 years. And 20 years sounds like a long time, but you look back, 20 years will be here before you know it.
I guess I still don't understand the reason. I mean, once we have choice lanes on 24, we're never going to have a new exit off of 24 between Murfreesboro and Nashville. I
think it's going to be difficult to implement one. Yeah.
Why is that?
That's just what I'm hearing from TDOT and others, but this also would be a critical link to Williamson County as well.
Well, I understand. It just baffles me. I mean, do we not think in 20 years we maybe will need one? I mean, the city of Murfreesboro is going to run Cherry Lane.
Yeah.
And it's going to go out. Will Cherry Lane not be approved just because we have choice lanes now? And I don't know. That just seems to be a head scratcher for me.
Well, for me, I mean, I drive that not every day, but it's an hour. An hour, it's not that bad for me, but you think of somebody coming in from South Murfreesboro dealing with that, like Representative Rudd or Representative Terry, and they're dealing with 3 hours on the road every day. And I know a lot of people are dealing with this, but we've got to start thinking creatively. I just asked my assistant, I said, hey, could you take the bus? Just take it, just as an experiment. My sister used to work for the state. She took the bus. She enjoyed it. But we've just got to get more creative. And I think going back on the tunnel idea, and that's the last words I told the governor the other day, I said, I was able to have a brief conversation with the boring company at Nashville a few months ago about, entertaining the thought to come to Rutherford County, to come to Murfreesboro, to come to Smyrna. But, you let all these homes,
maybe then we wouldn't need choice lanes if we had a tunnel.
But, well, I think to me, we just have to have everything on the table needs to be out there, whether it's carpool. I mean, I carpooled when I was 19 and 20. I paid a lady $5 to pick me up when I worked at Whirlpool, and not many people carpool today. But but also the tunnel is also to me it's a safety issue too, because you're trying to get to Vanderbilt in an ambulance, and that whole corridor is just blocked. Like this morning, there's always a wreck, and you watch when we have this snow and ice come in. You watch what happens this weekend, I-24.
If everything, I don't know. I keep going back to it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If everything's on the table, why do we have to build this now, or it's not going to happen when choice lanes go in? I just don't understand the choice lanes.
Well, if you're going to do it, I'm sure it's front end is still wiser.
Well, absolutely.
Than waiting on the back end.
Would cost less money.
Yeah.
But are we actually going to construct it to where it's ready for the choice lanes, or are we going to construct it and then have to go back and retrofit like we do every other exit? Who knows? Well, I mean, we build things and we're going to build it the cheapest without looking ahead. The only thing that I've ever seen that was built with expansion in mind was when I was a kid. They built the Walter Hill Bridge on 231.
Yeah.
Right before you get to Jefferson Pike.
Yeah.
When you go over the dam, when they took the bridge down, they built that bridge wide enough to make it a 4-lane.
Yes. Yeah.
That was 20-something years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just now going to happen.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that done any other place.
Well, it's like when I met with TDOT here a few months ago, and I said, they never bond projects. And I said, why don't we entertain bonding projects? Because you look at the inflation during COVID, I mean, everything had went up so much, steel, asphalt, I mean, everything used to construct roads had went up. I said, man, we would have probably saved money if we would have bonded a few projects. We bond the jail, we bond schools, bond other projects. Why not? If it's a critical issue like Jefferson Pike, I think that should have been done 20 years ago. I think everybody would echo that. But that's a key road going into Nissan. If Jefferson Pike was shut down, the plant was shut down. I mean, I worked there. I've seen it happen. If we had a snow, an accident, there was always a dump truck wreck. There was always something on Jefferson Pike that happened between 840 and
It was a dump
Nissan.
truck with trash in it.
It was everything.
Coming from Nashville, right?
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to reroute those, but we still get it,
Of course.
I mean, but it was, but the center line, it was down, and it used to be 65,000 a minute back then. No telling what it would be today, but we have to talk about this and be assertive, and whether it's an idea of a tunnel, of an area that you've got a developer willing to grant an easement for an area. I'm going to do a resolution on this. I honored Elon Musk a couple of years ago, and it got controversial. You wouldn't think honoring a guy who's very creative is controversial.
Yes, as soon as you can say the name Elon Musk, it's controversial.
This was years ago. This was 4 years ago.
All right.
And because I appreciate him buying Twitter. I'm a First Amendment advocate.
Even a couple of years ago.
And anyways, we're going to do it again. No. And anyways, but I-24, one thing we deal with facts. The fact of the matter is I-24 is the most congested area of the state of Tennessee, and I will argue one of the most dangerous, other than Memphis. And Memphis is becoming pretty safe now, but they've had 2 murders just last year in my district right there, from Walden Road to 840, or Walden Road to Sam Ridley. There've been two folks murdered right there, shot and killed.
Let me just ask you that. I know that you all went and presented. I'm not challenging the validity of any of this whatsoever. Yeah. I think that it is. But you talk with the governor and you have this meeting and all, but if TDOT's not for it, are we just blowing smoke in the wind?
I don't think so. I think if it's not Governor Bill Lee, it'll be the next governor, whether that's Marsha Blackburn or John Rose or Monty Frist or whoever else runs. I think we got to go to the governor. That's what we did yesterday, and hats off to Robert Stevens for helping to organize that, and Mayor Reed for making her plea.
So is this? I mean, you were basically told by TDOT this isn't going to happen. We're doing choice lanes.
Well, they just feel it's too close with that Amilville Road project. They want to widen Amilville Road project. But then again, years ago, the chief engineer told me himself, he said, Mike, if Smyrna could get their road out there, which they've done, Rocky Fork Road looks great. Folks just went out there. It really does. And he said that if they do their due diligence, it's going to help that argument for making that more regional. But the Amilville Road, man, that's going to be that's a difficult project. You've got the creek right there.
Yeah.
You've got the largest logistics center for PepsiCo right there with a lot of heavy trucks. And, it's a lot of with growth comes a lot of challenges.
In presenting that to the governor, will he present and say, hey, TDOT, I want to do this? Was that the goal of that? Or, I mean,
how he deals with TDOT, I don't know, but I know, let's face it. I mean, other than President Trump calling TDOT, and the governor's got more influence than President Trump does when it comes to TDOT. There's no doubt.
Sure.
So we went to the guy who has the biggest hammer, which is Governor Bill Lee. And, you've seen the little, I come up with this little Governor Bill Lee Boulevard sign just to get his attention. And he's seen that. He just started laughing. He goes, I don't need a road named after me. Y'all wait till I'm dead and gone. I was kidding him where I named Samerly Parkway, Bob's Bobby Highway for a little memorial mile, and I did it while Bob was alive. And Bob was complaining because he had to buy his own sign. It was $300, And anyways, I just believe in honoring people while they're alive if you can. But it was a memorable moment yesterday.
I know you weren't going to pay for Bob's Spivey sign, were you?
No. Well, nobody else wanted to pay for Bob's sign either. Bob was a wealthy guy. But anyways, I know it meant a lot to Bob. But it did get I will say it did get the governor's attention. But
maybe it could be the Governor Bill Lee interchange.
Yeah. Whatever. I know.
I know that name
the
on
mayor.
it.
I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. I think the mayor she wants to get it done. I grabbed a great photo of her and the governor yesterday, just pointing at the map, and I sent it to you. It's a smooth photo.
Well,
maybe you can use it on WGNSradio.com.
Maybe so.
Do a nice story or something.
Well, I think anytime that we can help with traffic congestion in our cities, whatever can be done, if this has a modicum of relief,
yeah.
I just don't understand I guess I understand the choice lanes thing, but why would you want to keep? I don't know. I just don't understand why you would want to keep an interchange out, but that's state dollars, and I guess they have to allocate dollars wherever. But
Tennessee, we are. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're arguing that we're $10 billion behind in infrastructure in Tennessee. And my numbers could be off, but I thought it was $10 billion behind. But Tennessee prides themselves on paying as we go. But with that comes a little bit of sacrifice. So my idea, let's bond critical projects if they make sense with some kind of metric system where it's economic development, public safety. I mean, Jefferson Pike was, I think most would agree, it's still one of the most dangerous roads in the state of Tennessee, especially when you get into the Walter Hill area. But Smyrna, it's greatly improved from.
Well, why didn't we expand it on into the Walter Hill area?
Because it
costs money.
The price tag on that thing, it'd probably be $100 million now, $80 million.
How much was it when we were proposing to do the whole thing?
Well, just 840, I believe it's $67 million, and the bridge was half of it.
Well, I'm talking about, had we done this 20 years ago, you could have done the whole stretch for that amount.
If you'd have bonded it, yeah, that's the argument I'm making, because you factor in economic development, you factor in countless lives, and I even produced a video that we had TDOT watch, and it was the Phillips family. I believe it's John Phillips on Walter Hill. He sadly passed last year. If anybody wants to see it, just go to YouTube, type in Jefferson Pike, Smyrna. But I interview him, and he says, yeah, I prayed with two other men, held their hands while they were hurt in a wreck, and then they died. And he said, never knowing my own son was going to lose his life on Jefferson Pike. It's a powerful testimony of, I believe it's John and Joan Phillips. So go to YouTube, type in Jefferson Pike, Smyrna, and you'll hear that. And I had TDOT watch it, and I had our delegation watch it, and I had Smyrna Town Council watch it. And I will argue that video moved that project up, because there's power in a story, there's power in a testimony, much like Paul in the Bible or other folks in the Bible. So when you see that testimony, and you hear Mr. Phillips talk about losing his own son to that. His son was valedictorian, and in fact, I remember praying with the mom, and I had that young man's graduation card in my office at my former car business for years, just to remind me of that road. That's when I was a county commissioner. But it's a dangerous road, and with growth comes a lot of challenges. But shout out to Mayor Reed and our delegation for a great meeting with Governor Bill Lee yesterday.
Well, we'll see how that all works out. We've got to keep all of our governors straight. It'll be governor somebody in a year.
Who are you voting for next year or this year? Who are you voting for?
Oh, I probably won't.
Oh, you won't? Okay.
I may vote for myself. I may run.
Throw your name in there.
Yeah, I might.
Be one of those guys who always writes their name in for ladies. I'm always curious whose name they're writing in,
Donald Duck. That's who I'll.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens this weekend with snow. Be careful out there.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Until next time, for State Representative Mike Sparks, Bryan Barrett, take care out there.